And the two players are indeed ready. There is the fist bump, and Christophe won the dice roll. He decided to go first, so we are going to see how he's going to just execute his strategy against the defending champion. Of course, it must give you a little bit of pressure on the shoulders, and he starts very well with a card that is engaged to just add probably something like the drone. But all of a sudden, we see the Dominus Purge, a very good card in the format recently, especially because it doesn't trigger the canine cards.
And that's an interesting decision. Of course, Sky Striker is in the format indeed, but we have seen that usually they want to go second if they win the roll, so you can assume this is just Yummy, and we go for Purge, and what and the best normal summon in the deck, that Capsi Yummy.
But we see some interruptions. Noël here trying to sync if he wants to interrupt early on, or if he wants to let his opponent develop the game. But yeah, of course, we see the Effect Veiler right there. So there is a pretty heavy end trap in Noël's hand. But we are going to go into the Link one. The Snatchy, and the Snatchy is a very interesting card because it allows you to just activate the field spell directly from the deck. And this field spell is very, very interesting because it allows you to extend and to just special summon back from the graveyard. So for now, it goes pretty well for Christophe because already two interruptions from Noël's side, but still he's able to go into the very crucial synchro plays.
Yeah, I mean, Yummy is one of the best decks of all time, I think, at dodging entraps. And if you see that Veiler, it's pretty much not a decision from Noël, but he's almost forced to use it because later on down the line, you know, the deck will just immediately dodge it. And here we see one of the new cards from the latest set, Dune of Dimensions, that Marshmallow giving the deck just what he needed, let's say. As an extender starter, it really does everything.
I mean, I really feel like that after Doom of Dimensions, we gain a lot of different cards for our decks, and Marshmallow is for sure one of those cards that, you know, for Yam, it's really what the deck was looking for. And I also feel like it will be a matter of how many hand traps you will be playing this weekend alongside with your side deck, because we've just witnessed Christophe having Dark Looter no more in his main deck. So I'm really curious to see what our players' choices will be, especially because we have a lot of different decks, such as Draco Tail, for example. We have a lot of Mitsurugi variants inside the current format. But I really feel like that Yam is one of those decks that can afford to play 15 rounds of Swiss very well, play through the field. And I mean, of course, playing Yummy, you need to be prepared and make a lot of mirror matches as well.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned something really interesting. It's the fact that you have 15 rounds of Swiss. We mentioned that earlier. And of course, you have to get a deck that is very, very, very consistent. Otherwise, it's going to be very hard for you to just go through all the rounds because, of course, you cannot afford to lose too many games. So yeah, I think that Yummy is very well positioned in this meta game because, of course, you have a lot of starters, you have some ways to just dodge interruptions, and you have a lot of one-count combos. And that is all that is very important, of course, for this event, because on comparison, you have some other decks, for example, Vanquish Soul Canine Strategy, which are very strong, high ceiling, but a little bit less consistent, and it might not be enough to just go through the 15 rounds.
And I really feel like also the like in those occasions, for example, when you start things off like this, I think you are pretty much satisfied because your opponent had 2 interruptions, you held the field with the Herald and also one card in hand, which may most likely be one interruption, like a hand trap. But I mean, as mentioned, Noël last year proved himself to be the champion, and coming back here strongly, let's see.
And of course, the 6 card, always the best one. But we've seen another card which is very, very
Classic.
good in his hand, and he's probably gonna start things off with this one. No, he's going to activate the Full Loss, and indeed, this is that is right. This is banished thanks to the Herald, but I'm sure that they will just realize that in a few seconds. But yeah, ultimately I think the Fuvalos is very, very good, even going second, because the Yummy strategy just uses a lot of synchro summons during the opponent's turn, so it's not that bad compared to other decks. For Noël, he's going to get a couple draws, or maybe even more, and be able to replenish his hand after using his resources.
Yeah, it's indeed one of those exceptions where you're happy to see it even later on, and arguably sometimes it's even better because they can just end on a few things. But now it's revealed. I mean, once you see Purge, you can already expect it's a mirror. But yeah, now it's 100% confirmed, and we can try and force activation if we want to shuffle something back, but probably not the case. You can just normal summon, don't activate the effect, and yeah, let's see. Unfortunately, like. We stopped the Capsi with the Veiler, but we had our drone, I believe, surprise. So I'm pretty sure the face down could be that, but let's see if that is the case indeed. And yeah, we're gonna use the Snatchy.
So first Synchro Summon and first draw for Noël, of course. He only has 2 cards in hand, so that's not a lot, but he's going to be able to just replenish his hand. So let's see which Synchro is gonna come out of the deck. And yeah,
makes a lot of sense. The one way to play this matchup is exactly this. If they open a normal summon, you just put it face down, and then all of the extenders like the Engage and Obedience School, even if they are completely shut down, and so the draw from Fuvalos, it's less likely relevant.
Yeah, absolutely, and that is very, very crucial that you mentioned the Obedience School, because I think that this is a very important card in the deck. It went down from 3 to 1, but still the Yomi strategy has access to this card, and this is such a powerful card. All of a sudden, you have 3 monsters on the field, and when you open that, I mean, you are very, very happy.
Here another extender for Noël, which I mean, I think it's good to continue, and especially because now Christophe is just having a think about this. Well, yeah, he's just maybe telling his opponent that he has the same copy set now, which
Yeah, I'm assuming that's in a different language, and so he's probably like, okay, I'm gonna read my own, which yeah, it's a bit unfortunate, but wow, we do use the Herald, and I think.
Yeah, it is game. It is game. It is game. Literally, I mean, the normal summon got booked, so it got put face down. And as you just mentioned, it just literally shut down so many extenders. You don't have the ability to use the Sky Striker cards. You don't have the ability to use the Obedience School, even if it's at 1. And I mean, you only have a few things to just extend through that. So. On the first game, we saw some very classic game. Christophe just going through the interruptions. We saw the ability of the Yuumi strategy to just play, even if the opponent has some cards. He had 2 interruptions, but still he has almost the full field. And it's very hard to just go through that, because on the opponent's turn, you just have the ability to use so many stuff. You have the book, you have the way to just bounce back, to get back some cards from the field to the hand. You have some abilities to destroy some monsters. So many stuff. And it's going to be interesting to see if Noël just is able to get back into the game, because of course he's the defending champion, and you never want to start with a loss in the first round, even if it is not over after that. But you want to start things with a beautiful win, and now he's back against the wall. So he's gonna have to win this game and win the next game, going second probably.
Yeah, I mean, I also mentioned that Yami would have been my pick for the event, mostly because of its consistency. You have so many one-card starters that you have a lot of room for non-engine. But the issue is, when you have a meta that is so open as this one, it gets tough at times to choose what you play, and so this mirror match turns into you can just see it here, completely different non-engines. Noël on a heavy entrap count playing Veiler, which I think is probably one of the few players I've seen steal with the card. And on the other hand, Christophe was on Dark Ruler No More in the main deck. So it's really up to those things, and I think that already was much better. Like, imagine if the duels were flipped. If Noël went first, he would have set up and then got hit by the Dark Ruler No More, which of course would have been much better in the mirror match. So it's gonna be up to the side decks now, but of course when you go first, and especially after siding, we might not have Free Soul and Judgments anymore, but we have a lot of other tools, from Dimensional Barrier, which is back at being extremely popular because of, hitting Ritual Fusions as well. But also, the #1 enemy that we saw at the World Championship was Black Gold Love.
Yeah, this is a very good card because you can just call Snatchy, and Snatchy is a crucial piece of Yuumi. So if you just call that, it is very good. And the fact that in the graveyard, it still has another effect. So you have the ability to, on the second turn, call again another name. I mean, this is so strong.
You also think that, in a current format like this, a card like Ghost Reaper and Winter Shadows could be played in a mirror match, because it's one of those cards. If you get rid of the snatch, it's just very powerful. I mean, you have so many different cards from the past, like I think Retaliating Sea, which has become popular as well, which were used to play years ago. I'm really curious to see how our duelists have taken off for this weekend. But yeah, I mean, now the pressure is on Noël, because he's the defending champion, he's not on the driving seat, and I mean, we have seen also him at the World Qualifying Points playoff last season. I mean, he's a very successful duelist, but yeah, I mean, the pressure is on him for sure. And I mean, I would say that our duelists are ready for game 2, so let's jump into the match.
Here they are, as mentioned. Yummy. Don't want to jinx it, but almost a deck that never breaks. So let's see. And that's where
and of course, yes,
no way.
no way, but
Noël way.
no, it's fine, I guess. He's gonna sing a little
Thankfully, you
bit.
missed my ban. Okay, and here is one of the many normals, but that Fualos is definitely better than the one Noël used in the previous game, especially when you open just a normal summon like this. But I mean, this is a deck that absolutely doesn't stop. Usually you want to give a couple draws to your opponent, because you can still set up a very nice field.
But this is a bit dangerous, because we saw in the last game the fact that he was playing some Dark Ruler no more, so probably a lot of board breakers, and those cards can be very strong in the mirror match, especially if you can pair them. So the fact that he is able to just draw the Fuvalos and the Fuvalos resolves allows him to just get access to a lot more cards like that. And yeah, I would be a bit scared if I were Noël, to be honest.
Yeah, but I mean, for now we'll just have a quick judge call, and in the meantime, we can go back to us. I think it's one of those things where I would say it's a defining skill of the deck as well, choosing and knowing when to stop and what to go for. It depends a lot, obviously, on the rest of your hand. But for example, I would say when you open specifically Cookie, is probably one of those hands where you can just give him even one draw if you feel confident on the rest of your hand. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, the field spell, and we can go back to the match immediately, as we can see, is gonna hit the field. And then possibly here, if you just pass, it's not ideal, but as you can see, okay, that's an interesting one. I guess you don't really need to access it, but even if you just go for Mignon and revive the Cookie, you pass, and on their turn you have, the put face down and then Cookie engrave. But as you can see now, we just go for a Cookie instead, and yeah, deck signals that we don't really want to extend all that much, I guess.
Absolutely. So he's just gonna pass on half field, so that he doesn't give too many draws. So it means that Noël agrees with us and thinks that it's a bit scary to just let Christophe draw too many board breakers like Dark Ruler No More or other cards that he could play. And yeah, he's gonna pass on a very minimalistic field, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, I think you don't really want to overextend, because otherwise you just risk it too much. I think like this, it's fine. I mean, not much that you can do under Fuvalos, and still, this is more than fair, honestly.
Absolutely. So let's see if Christophe has what it takes to take down the reigning champion of the previous YCS Lille. Start things off with the Infinite Impermanence, which is a good way to start things, because yeah, you just remove the ability of the Link to Synchro Summon, and then the Pot of Prosperity is such a good card, in my opinion, one of the best cards in the game.
This Impermanence is huge. Many times, in a lot of different matchups, you want to keep it for your own turn, usually to hit the Herald. But in this case, when they have only set up one Snatchy, it's so big.
Oh, and we see the we see this thrust.
Yes, took right away.
Yeah. He didn't think a lot about this
No,
one.
that was a no-brainer. Yes.
And now we see some very interesting cards in Christophe's hand. How is he gonna try to just break this small field? Okay. He starts by a normal summoning. No response here from Noël, so we are going to go right now into the Snatchy and try to put the field spell face up. We're special summoning right away. And here, Noël thinking a lot if he wants to interrupt or not. Because, yeah, I mean, you don't want to just let the Yomi player go into his place, because as soon as the synchro summon just occurs, then you are in a bit of a trouble, because you have the ability to just dodge all targeted interruptions and even the normal interruptions. So, yeah, this is a bit of a tough spot. And as you mentioned earlier, Marcello, I mean, you are kind of forced to just act early on.
Yeah. I think you also need to be careful about where to use your hand traps, if you have any, because of the triple target thrust in hand. It's just a matter of understanding where you can potentially stop your opponent. Not an easy spot, to be fair, because I feel like Noël's field and hand, it's good, but he really needs to deal with his resources carefully. And here, yeah, also really feel like that Christophe is trying to push and see whether his opponent is just, maybe fixing for it and, stopping him, which doesn't seem the case.
Yeah, for now, everything goes through and even gets access to the quick spell and the new addition, Marshmallow. Such a good card, to be honest.
Yeah,
such a good card.
I love it. I think he really... It gives the deck such speed, and I mean, it's one of those cards that you want to play in 3-offs most of the times. And I mean, I just love it. And also the effect of just recycling your spell cards from the graveyard every time just allows you to play one instead of two. So it's also for consistency. It's great. It's a great card.
And yeah, it will be interesting to see what's the play here from Christophe. Do you just try to push for game?
I mean, we have to remember that he's under prosperity, so it's half damages. He might not be able to push for game.
Yeah, definitely not.
But still, he can just get into a position that is very, very good for him. And I'm very curious to see when Noël is gonna interact with his opponent, because he knows that there is the thrust in his opponent's hand.
Yeah.
So it's a tough situation, to be honest. He doesn't have the best field of his of the Yumi deck, and on top of that, I mean, the guy in front of you, he can just search for such a strong card, even Obedience School if he wants to.
Yeah, the card might be at 1, but you have Thrust to search it. After siding it, it also gets you that black coat, which we've talked about. So it's really strong in the mirror match. And I guess the real only line of defense is the surprise to bounce, which could be an option, but when is it gonna be effective? And yeah, you can see here Noël debating, but I think it's a bit too late.
Yeah, everything goes through, and Christophe is in the driving seat right now. I mean, the Fuvalos and now the thrust during the next turn. And by the way, we saw some very interesting thing. We saw that he was playing the Pot of Prosperity, and we knew that some players wanted to add some consistency to the deck, and he wanted to add even more consistency to a deck that is already very consistent.
Yeah.
And the fact that the Pot of Prosperity in this deck, in this version of the deck, is able to search some engine, but also some power cards like the Dark Ruler No More, I think it just gives a lot of tools.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's graveyard face down, but
because why not?
I think it's just one of the best spell cards ever made, and I've always been on the fence of calling it better than Pot of Greed even, and I think we've got confirmation of it from the Genesis points, no? Because Pot of Prosperity costs 40 while Pot of Greed 30, so there is something there.
I think it's just entering battle phase. Yeah.
Yeah. He's going to attempt to clear the field, and of course Noël is going to react. He's going to save what he can, trying to literally just get his monsters back, and targeting the 2 snatches on Christophe's side. Is there going to be an answer?
Yeah, usually you can do some cute things with this, chaining, you know, the snatchy, still resolving, but this is not quite gonna be the case because ours is negated, and as you can see, it's just gonna resolve.
I mean, he waited a long time to react, but to be honest, to be fair, I think it's a pretty good way to react here. He could have done better, to be honest. Considering the fact that if he just activates a single monster effect, he's under the pressure of trust.
Yeah.
I mean, he patiently waited, I have to say. Yeah.
And I think here we just pushed a little bit more damage by, you know, adding this to the field, which gives pretty much a boost of 1500 to each, but they're only really gonna be dealing 750 each plus since of the is on the field.
But one good thing for Noël is that he's gonna survive this turn, and he's going to be able to try to get back some presence onto the field, and that's all he wanted, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, with a starting hand like this, after you're being full veloced, and also you see that your opponent has the thrust, the best you can do is just trying to survive and gain yourself another turn. Of course, it's not going to be easy, especially because we see that Christophe's field is quite good. He's holding, you know, one card that we don't know yet. Still doable for Noël, honestly.
Yeah.
It will all revolve around the card that he draws, to be honest. If he draws a good card, like for example, Obedience School,
just saying a random one,
it would be good.
Yeah, I mean, just a decent one. And ooh, seems like this is the power of the Marsh Mao. Not only is it a starter and extender, as you can see here, it allows you to combo off with one additional body because it gets this surprise back, and that's quite huge. So we could still go into the Marsher and Herald play if we want. But I think also a Crookie is quite annoying, so it's really an interesting spot.
Yeah, he's thinking a lot about that. Yeah, he's going to go into the Synchro 3 play and go into the Herald.
Oof. Yeah, you can see still not super convenient. Okay, let it go already. Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, this is the right play, to be honest. You just want to get the Omni Negate. And
yeah, but the only issue is now you don't have the play set up where you can synchro, no? You need either another extender from end or to use the surprise right away, which isn't ideal. Because usually you want to end on the level 1. And does he have another level 1? Not really. So I don't know if I agree with this completely. Because yeah, I think like Herald is better against other matchups, but in the mirror match not so much, and it's better to just, you know, if they have an out for this surprise, it's rough.
Absolutely, absolutely. He literally traded the Herald presence for the synchro plays, and I mean, he chose that decision. Maybe he's afraid of some power cards like the Obedience School that we talked about, and he wants absolutely to negate that, thinking that he can literally just prevent Noël from extending the other plays. We'll see if it's enough.
I mean, it's interesting. I was thinking there was some potential also for maybe some SP plays instead, getting rid of the Akruki, or even the surprise, because nowadays it's a one-off. So instead we go for this Herald, and let's see.
I also like that Noël didn't activate the effect Veiler at all. It was just, you know, let his opponent do the work, and let's see now if he can deal with this. Honestly, yeah, I think he can potentially make it. It also depends, as mentioned, on what he drew into.
Okay. That's a pretty good one. I mean, the Marshmallow is going to be able to special summon itself and also get back the surprise from the graveyard, which is another way to extend and another way to interact with the opponent's field. Let's see if Christophe has anything to answer to that. And he is indeed gonna activate his own surprise, which will just give him the ability to just synchro play, synchro summon.
But even then, I was thinking you just shotgun the surprise right away. No, if you don't have anything, it's probably better to just use it in the draw phase. Or like you could already chain to this Marshmallow and get things even better. And the issue is, if you don't get rid of the Akruki, it's tougher to interact, because most duelists, you know, think of Akruki as an extra interruption, but actually, you know, it has another relevant effect, which is you can just special summon a Yami from deck if a card you control, you know, leaves the field in that case, and it's quite relevant here, because what are you gonna do?
Absolutely, and here a bit of sinking from Noël's side, and I can understand that, because this is not an easy situation. You still have the Herald to deal with, and you have the synchro plays, which are just available for Christophe. As soon as you will activate a card effect, you'll be able to just tag out and put back the synchro into the extra deck, so that you're able to special summon 2 other monsters. And we know that from that point, Yami can be very, very scary. So not an easy situation, but no doubt that Noël is able to just try to do his best to get the win there. But not gonna be easy.
Yeah, and now we do go for the Snatchy, but we are just gonna keep this Akruki. No reason to really use the effect now. Let's see.
Nothing activated on the side of Christophe.
Yeah, and the issue with this is that you have a solid play where, exactly, if you don't use the effect of Capsi, you can chain block with the Akruki and pop the Herald in chain link 2. And if they do Herald, you also put back the Capsi Yami way into the extra deck, and it's so good, you know. So I'm a bit worried for Christophe.
Let's see if Noël catches it, and looks like the lineup is the correct one.
So yeah, absolutely, and this is such a strong move, to be honest. This is such a strong move. You have the ability to just chain block the effects and force the Herald right away, and now Christophe is in a bit of a tough situation, because, I mean, all of a sudden, all the field just crumbled, and it's gone, yeah, it's gone. So of course, he's going to chain the Synchro and special summon back 2 monsters. But still, Noël got rid of the Herald.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very good interaction, honestly, from Noël, which I think is really trying his best. Not easy to navigate through Christophe's field, but this is by far, honestly, the best move we could have gone into. Still, I don't think we know the last set card from Noël, right? Because I think he's been seeing it quite a few times, and still not using it.
Oh, and we have the Gospel here.
Oh, wow.
Noël realizes that there is one more thing that he had to care about.
This hurts. Maybe was not expecting it at all, because Gospel here in this situation, honestly, might hurt a lot. Let's see maybe what his last draw might have been.
Yeah, I mean, we still haven't normaled, so there is that. But
And we are
This
going
is
to
the last-
normal
yeah.
summon the Marshmallow, activate the effect
Yeah.
and get back the surprise. Now we can activate some effects because we are not afraid anymore of the Herald or the fact that you can just put back the Synchro to the extra deck.
And this is where, I mean, the cookie gets really not that relevant, because as mentioned, if you cookie at any point, they can just use the Akruki effect to special from deck. So it's a bit strange to maneuver through this. And probably your best chance is to just use your own, you know, putting face down effect. So let's see.
Are we going to see the last card of Noël, the set card?
Also, it's interesting that we, I mean, yeah, I guess it makes sense because we were going second this game. We don't see an Akruki, maybe in deck from Christophe. Usually it's a card that you could side out going second, so... Because that's actually extremely relevant, because it's one way to play around your opponent Akruki. To just, you know, set up yours, then you go into a synchro and you pop their Akruki as Chainlink too. But I think he sided it out.
Yeah, would make sense. Would make sense. You want to just get as many ways to interact with your opponent as you can. So maybe he put in some Lightning Storm, some Dark Rulers, some cards like that.
Okay,
Just
no,
try
it
to-
is there. Okay, that changes a
So-
lot. Yeah.
So that's another way to interact with Noël.
Yeah, maybe he wasn't even expecting his opponent to have kept it in the deck, which
Yeah.
honestly may give Christophe the advantage here for sure. Because we know that one of Noel's cards in hand is Effect Veiler,
Yeah.
and the other one is just the surprise that was taken back with the Marshmallow. So essentially we just don't know the last set card from Noël.
Yeah, this is
Maybe too much, honestly. Yeah.
quite huge. And yeah, I think just a bit of discussion, and it makes sense. We go into a synchro, we can put the Marshmallow face down and pop the Akruki, possibly, or yeah, let's see what he's gonna go into.
Things are getting very, very hard, to be honest, for Noël right now. And the fact that the Gospel was there and the fact that there is the Akruki still in the deck is very, very important here. Now, yeah, we are going to get rid of the field spell, of course, and also try to get rid of the normal summon, because now we know that Noël has normal summoned, has used the effect of the Marshmallow to special summon itself, and he doesn't have a lot of ways to get back into the game. And once again, it is face down, so a lot of extenders are just not usable anymore.
Yep. And now the cookie is back online, and this pretty much seals it, because we have already normal summon, we have used Marshmallow, we cannot use the other extenders because we have a monster on the field. I think Christophe has done an amazing job, and as you can see here, we can just use both, get the surprise. But maybe there is one more line that we have been keeping all this time, because Noël seemed like he wanted to use something. But no, not quite, and yeah, I don't see how you get out of it.
No, it's going to be very hard, to be honest. It's going to be very, very hard. We are going to just get rid of it, and it might just be it, to be honest. It might just be it. And what a way would it be for Christophe to start this tournament, to just get rid of the reigning YCS Lille champion.
Yeah, I mean, in round one, honestly, of course, it's still something that we always mention. It's not joke to play on stage. There's a big crowd watching you, more than 2,000 people attending the event, and you're playing against the current champion in Lille.
And again, actually, we take a look at the end. That there is that effect Veiler, which I'm shocked was kept after siding. I mean, it's really not that great in this matchup at all, and it's really what's costing him.
Yeah, and this is it.
Yeah, fist bump, and Noël start things off rough here in Lille. It is Christophe with the 2-0 lead. Well, what a start of the day. I mean, we knew, you know, Yummy was the deck to beat, one of the most popular, most likely. Later on, we'll be able to show you guys what is the deck breakdown for the event. Always interesting stat. But I think this was just a showcase of, you know, how technical the deck can be. And at the end of the day, the fact that you have almost 20 room for non-engine, it's gonna, you know, be up to those decisions, and in this case it seems like the Dark Ruler No More might have been more favorable than those Effect Veilers. But again, it's all down to matchups. You play against Dragotail or against another matchups, then suddenly those Effect Veilers feels amazing. So what can you do?
I mean, yeah, that's a very interesting way, you know, to approach the tournament, because you have three ways to just build your Yummy deck. You have either only board breakers, like a Dark Ruler, only hand traps, or you can just do a mix of them. And we've seen that a lot of times. I think for this tournament, I mean, playing some Effect Veilers and some Ash Blossom is pretty good, because as you just mentioned, you can just face some Dracotails, you can just face some other decks that where, you know, the Dark Rulers are not as effective. But yeah, this first game, we've seen a lot of interesting things. Yeah. We've seen the Pot of Prosperity that was used as well, a card which improves the consistency of the deck. So players might be ready to have 15 rounds of Swiss.
Yeah.
And it's going to be... I mean, it's going to be interesting to see if there are some other decks than Yumi that are able to just go through the tournament, because we know that Yumi is by far the most consistent deck, but there are still some other decks with high ceiling, and yeah, it's going to be cool to watch that.
Yeah, we have three ways indeed. Lollipop, Yummy way, Capsi, Yummy way. You know? But yeah, I'm sure we'll see more ways throughout this weekend. But no, it's I mean, it will be done for sure. An interesting, you know, tournament ahead. As mentioned, we have 15 rounds of Swiss, so 8 more after this one for the day, and it will be interesting to see some trends. We have in store for you guys, you know, the meta discussion, because I mean, a lot has happened. We have a Forbidden Unlimited list, obviously shaking up, and I think most likely impacting Vanquish Shoal a lot, which was the deck that won the World Championship. And then we have the set that just released, so our duelists really have a lot of options to, you know, tweak their deck, and also, again, it will be, you know, a recurring theme, but playing a deck through 15 rounds really impact the way that you build it. I feel like those high risk, high reward strategies that we have seen in the past that sometimes sneaked, you know, I'm thinking Mermail especially, you know, often it was sneaking in Top Cut and then going almost all the way. It's tougher to ask your deck, you know, even if your deck is a bit inconsistent. 15 rounds is a lifetime. So regardless, we'll see more of it later on, but for now the spotlight is on Christophe, our winner of round 1. So let's hear it from the winner interview with Basti.
And here we are with indeed the winner of the round 1 featured match. Congratulations to you, Christophe.
Thank you.
That was quite the pairing in round 1, right? Playing against the reigning champion of YCS Lille. How were your feelings when you saw the pairing on Neuron?
When I just see the pairing, I was like, okay, it is a game.
Okay,
Yeah.
it is a game.
Let's go.
Every opponent is the same, so you were not scared?
No.
Okay, fair. That's a good mindset to have.
In the start, I didn't know it was the winner of the last YCS. And after this, I was like, okay, I am the Charlotte Cannon.
Okay. Even more motivated then, yeah? And now we have to beat them. So you brought the Yummy deck, as your opponent did as well. Just overall, do you think it's the best deck right now in the format?
I don't know if it is the best deck or Mitsurugi, because it is very good also. But it is a deck I play since the first
Justice
wave,
Hunters pretty much, yeah.
Justice Hunter. And I was like, I like this deck. I will play the little cat.
And I mean, it worked out really well for you. Let's go into the first highlight there from game number 1. And that first game started with you also being the winner, of course, of the die roll.
Yes.
So here we have it, first highlight. And you go in, your opponent uses Dominus Purge, and he uses Effect Veiler already. And you could still just full combo, basically, right?
It is the power of the deck. Any card is an extender, so I am like, okay, you use one card from your hand, I will play anyway. Thank you.
yeah, that was really, really strong. And I mean, also, we see it here, you bring back the Kapsi Yami back from the graveyard, and you go into the Kapsi Yami way now. And here is the first time you get to search for a new card. Talk to us a little bit about how you're actually liking the Marshmallow now that is in the game, that you have it now in your deck. Is it boosting the deck a lot, or is it just a small factor?
It is very broken. It is a very broken card, because now we can use the spell, quick spell in your first turn and take it back easily, because before we needed to special summon the Link 2 to take it back. But no, just surprise, special summon Marshmallow, FM Marshmallow, take it back. It is very broken.
Yeah, and another thing we see here, of course, this is still game number 1.
Yeah.
And you decide to bring Dark Rune no more in the main deck. That's quite an interesting decision, because I saw a lot of Yami decks just playing a lot of hand interruption. You're also still playing quite a few of them, but there's also Dark Rune no more. Tell us about that. Why did you decide to bring this for this weekend?
It is to have target for trust.
Okay, yeah, fair.
So it is one-off.
Yeah, okay, that's just one-off.
It is like this. I have this card to target, or I take engage if my opponent uses a monster on my field. But like this, in go second, I take untrap. Okay, take the DRNM, use the DRNM, and special summon the rest of my hand.
Fair enough. And I mean, game 1 then did not take much longer. You won pretty quickly after that. Noël tried to play into it a little bit, but he conceded quite quickly. And then game number 2 came. And in game number 2, essentially, the first move of the game was your opponent normal summoning a Yami, and you responded with Molchami Fuvolos.
Yes.
Do you always just do it on the normal summon of a Yami when they start like that?
Yes, on normal summon Yami, I use the Fuvolos, because it will just make the snatchy play.
Yeah.
And pass with this, with surprise if he have Cupsy. If not have Cupsy, he need to special summon the Link 2 and the Synchro 2 Cupsy and the Link 1 again to have a minimal board. So I will draw 2 or 3 cards if he don't start with Cupsy. And if he start with Sky Striker Engine, here I will wait the Kagali. But
okay, you wait
if
for
not,
Kagali.
I will use on the normal summon.
No, fair enough. But did you like the setup that Noël did there? Because I think he went for a Crocky, the Snatchy, and Surprise. So actually, for a half field and for only giving 1 draw, that was pretty decent, right?
Yeah.
So that was
good. It was a good setup. I had the impermanence for the Snatchy.
Yeah.
If I didn't add it, it will be very hard, I think.
You're talking about that? Oh wait, no, that's not the wrong. That's the wrong highlight. Oh yeah, actually we skipped that highlight, but you had the Imperm. The Imperm was crazy on the Snatchy. That helped you so much. But this now is the next highlight, because your opponent just didn't respond to you at all, and then you just went into the battle phase. What was your thinking there? Did you just want to bait out Snatchy? Or no, rather be surprised?
To bait the
surprise. I meant the surprise, yeah.
And I was like, I will special summon the Synchro 2. If he want to tag out to target it, I can just tag out.
Yeah.
Or if he target the field spell, I'll tag out to have enough monster to battle his board or make a maximum damage. But he just target my 2 Snatchy. I was like, okay, it is fine.
Yeah, wait. The target, I think he targeted his own cards, and he targeted both of your Snatchies, right? That's what you said. Were you expecting him to target something different? Were you surprised by him targeting the 2 Snatchies?
The field spell, I thought he would boon the field spell, and with the other card, negate the Lollipop if I wanted to special summon back. But I was like, okay, it is fine for me. I will just make a little damage. It is Meow Meow, and take back the surprise in battle. And it will be okay like this. Yeah,
and I think then after you baited that out, after you had it into the main phase 2, pretty much your setup then was Herald, you had the Yami Surprise set. Your setup was a little weird, I would say, because you had no way to Synchro Summon initially, so you had to immediately activate the Yami Surprise. Was that your plan, or were you a little stumbling there?
I was like, my opponent have 3 cards in hand. I know the cup C. So I was like, I will just use the surprise special summon 1 Synchro 2. And if you want to negate this, I will use the Herald.
Yeah.
And after, I will just tag out the Synchro 2 to take back my monster. I thought maybe this one was in impermanence that it didn't use during my turn. So I needed to finish with 2 Snatch It to make sure it will work.
I was wondering, did he show you what that said card was? Because he never activated it.
I don't know what
it was sitting there all game long. Okay. Didn't bother you, didn't help him either. So that was kind of sad. But I mean, he still put up a good fight there, coming back into the game, because we are now in highlight number 4, where it's back to Noel's turn, and he found a pretty good way to play around your Herald, because he pretty much chain blocked his effects there. He went chaining 1, Cookie Yummy way, chaining to a Crocky, and that was a really, really strong play into your field. And at that very moment, I was like, okay, maybe Noel is coming back into the game. Were you thinking that too, or were you still confident there?
Here, I was like, I will tag out my monster.
Yes.
He will chain. He can chain the Cookie because he have the Herald.
It's still there, true, yeah.
It's still there. But if he chain this, I had Ghost Bell in my hand to.
Oh, you had Ghost Bell still, yeah.
It was the card I take. I keep it in hand for Cookie or the Cup C.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I will make. You will make Cup C. I will Book of Moon your Cup C. You will want to tag out, and I will Ghost Bell this. But the Cookie was the same. But I lose the Herald. It was better to make the Cookie for the Herald.
Yeah, you're really well surprised. You're really well surprised with your Yummy surprise, but also really well prepared for the Yummy mirror match, I feel like. And then we have a last 5th highlight here from this match, and this really was pretty much sealing the deal, because we were wondering, do you even have a Crocky in your deck going second? Because some people tend to side that out sometimes. Do you ever side out a Crocky going second?
No, it is the best card in my deck.
Okay,
I keep them.
So you always have it in?
Yeah.
Nice. That's. I think some people are questioning that, but the moment you then brought it out, everybody pretty much was sure, okay, that's an additional interruption. I don't know whether anyone could ever recover from this, because there it is. And
like I was like, okay, I need to cookie this and destroy this field spell, because if I want to puff with my cookie normal monster, it will get the Acro Key trigger and special summon from the deck, so it will change nothing for me. So I need the field spell to for this scenario.
It was perfect, honestly. Quickly after, your opponent could not really recover anymore, and you did win with a convincing 2-0 victory over the reigning champion, Noël Amel. So, Christophe, do you have ambitions? Are you going to maybe become the champion of YCS Lille this weekend?
I don't know which player will win the YCS, but good luck for him, because I think it will be a hard event. We are a lot of today, so good luck.
That's good sportsmanship. Round of applause for our round 1 feature match winner, Christophe, and best of luck for you for the rest of the tournament. Maybe see you tomorrow then in Top Gun, who knows? Best of luck for that.
Thank you.
We will, of course, see you very soon for more coverage here, more live coverage from YCS Lille. So don't go anywhere, and we will see you again very soon.